Here's part two of our conversation with Mike Levine of Triumph as they're promoting their brand new documentary called Rock and Roll Machine, named after, well, the Gilmore song from Triumph and their second album. For more information on the official documentary, go to the official Triumph website. There'll be a link in the description of this video. Hope you enjoy. So fans are always asking, and Robert Plant, I don't know if you just released a quote about old rock bands. He said, I forget what exactly, I wrote it down here. He said, Robert Plant dishes older rock bands, calling them sadly decrepit. It's like people, it's like people hanging onto a life raft or staying in a comfortable place. I get what he says, but I'd rather there be a yes than no yes. I would like Triumph to still be around doing their stuff, but what's your take on that? I mean, the reunion talk, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you every single time, but what's the status of the band?
The status of the band is we don't know. It's, we talk about it. We went just playing, we got played, three songs that a little for the doc. And that took it all out of us. And we realized, man, just on a little stage in a warehouse, we were beat and fried after playing three songs. Now, granted, we weren't in real road shape, but we rehearsed a lot to get that together, and we were beat. So we went, we're all like, afterwards, we're like, give me some water, give me a beer, give me something. It's exhausting work. So I don't know. Everybody's got some physical liabilities now too, because we're getting to the age where little things happen. Well,
Rick and I were talking about chiropractors.
Yeah, it's like it's all that stuff, and Gil's got hearing issues. Rick's got some arthritis in his hands. Right. I'm just sick all over. So, but I don't see it in the cards, to be honest with you, John. I really don't.
If it would be, let's just say, I'm not putting word. I mean, I'm not that kind of journalist, but if anything ever happened, it would not be more than a one-off show, obviously.
Yeah, the problem with one-off shows is that it takes just as much time to put that together as it would for a whole tour. That's the problem, right? You still got to have a crew. You still got to have lights. You got to have sound. You got to rehearse. You got to have everything together, and then you go, oh, we just worked for 3 months and spent a fortune for one show.
You're still baking the whole cake. Yeah, you're still baking the whole meal.
Yeah, it took 3 months out of our life for an hour and a half on stage, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. You either go, you go all in or you don't, I think.
Out of here. What was in your record collection back then? That transition time.
Well, let me think about that. So that would have been Beatles, Stones, Zeppelin, Hendrix, R&B stuff, Sam and Dave, who else? Etta James, Sirius, Syl Johnson, that nobody ever heard of, but he had a couple of R&B hits. Like we used to listen to stations out of Buffalo. Right? And WBUF WBOK FM was a great one, and then one called WUFO, WUFO. And because there was no place in Toronto that played R&B, period. It's like Wilson Pickett had the number one song on Show AM in Toronto, but they never played it. Never played it once, but it was the number one song. So we went south, to Buffalo, Detroit, whatever. So, R&B was a big influence in my career, for sure, in my musical taste.
Yeah. And I think people are always surprised at that, when I talk to artists and they'll say, oh, my favorite albums, they're all classic, like Steve Hackett of Genesis. All his favorite albums are classical albums. But if you listen to his music, it makes sense because he plays that kind of stuff and did it even in Genesis. But sometimes fans, they don't see the layers. They just like the music, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's in there if you listen to it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you look back to Hendrix used to play the Isley Brothers, right? So it's pretty freaky when you think about it. Him wearing a suit and playing Money or one of those R&B songs, the Isley Twist and Shout. It's hilarious. But you figure the Stones and Zeppelin, I mean, they borrowed or quote unquote stole depending on how the judge ruled, stuff from Chuck Berry and Blind Lemon Pledge and you name it. I mean, most of their songs were basically rips of old R&B tunes.
Yeah.
For more information on the brand new Triumph documentary, go to the official Triumph webpage. There'll be links in the description of this video. And remember, support the channel, buy a Rock History Music, Rock History book, Rock History Canada t-shirt, links also in the description. Part 3 coming up in a few days. Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music.